Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. My name is Robert Schoonover with the Home Gurus.
Well, I'm Shannon Pryor, also with the Home Gurus.
I am an OSA, an outside sales agent, licensed here in Mississippi and in Tennessee.
And I am now an inside sales agent. So I have just switched roles. As you know, I have been one of our transaction coordinators, but I am taking kind of a sideways step and going to be doing a lot of phone calls,
A lot of phone calls.
helping you find buyers for sellers and sellers for buyers.
That's right. Before we get started, today's Thursday, October 3rd, right?
Yes.
We have the port strikes going on. We just had the hurricane. I think we're going to get some more weather
Oh,
here
no.
next week.
Hopefully not anywhere on the coast.
Yeah. Yeah. A quick reminder, though, you don't have to go and get all the toilet paper. That's
Please leave some
that's
for
trucked
me.
within. It's manufactured here in the States and trucked
And
within
that's a
there.
good
Don't
point.
panic buy. Other than bananas, I think we're gonna have a shortage on bananas. So go out and get the bananas.
Your bananas.
A little. So how have you been? I know we recently did the pool party for the Home Gurus, and we had a
Oh.
cool video. I don't know if you guys saw that.
You can see us all jump out of the water looking like superheroes or
Yeah,
some
superheroes.
variation of that. One of our team members did the whole Spider-Man
Yeah, it
thing.
was pretty good. And what was cool about it is we actually jumped in reverse. We didn't have to reverse the video, right? We just jumped out.
We jumped out.
Yeah,
We
just like
did.
that.
We did. We're pretty cool. He's a little bit like Thor. He's a
It was a lot of fun. Definitely was a lot of fun. Anything else going on before we start talking about houses?
no,
What about this weekend? Going to do anything this weekend?
no.
Right.
I'm gonna hide this weekend. I think the last time I was on here, I talked about had work done at my house.
Oh,
And
yes.
so and as a transaction coordinator, I have access to all of our contractors. So you can still call me with that. And I was able to utilize several of them. A plumber, a wonderful guy that's putting in, hopefully, floor
I'll
today.
knock on wood for you.
Hopefully putting him on floor today. So we're excited about that.
That's awesome. Well, I plan on taking. I don't know. The Memphis Zoo is still open, right?
Oh, it's
I'm
open.
planning
Oh,
on
good.
taking the kids there this weekend. They don't know about it, so nobody tell them. Hopefully, they're not watching this.
Have you been to Zebu before?
I
You
have
know, you
not
can
been
go
to
at night.
this zoo. I'm from California, so I've been to the world famous San Diego Zoo and Wild
Mm.
Animal Park, and I think there's one in Connecticut. I've been all over, but yeah, I haven't been to this one yet. Been here for several years too.
Go to Zebu. It's fun.
We'll do. This actually sounds
That's at
pretty cool.
night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm guessing the boo is because it's during
It's in the evening,
Halloween or
and yeah,
something.
and they have little
Awesome.
setup stuff all over the place. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. That's awesome. Oh, another thing that this weekend is the VFW in South Haven is having like a craft event. So the different, not cubicles, but tents. Everyone has their own
Booths.
craft fair booths. Yeah,
Mhm.
different booths. So you guys can go check that out. So that's
Where's that?
South Haven VFW is in South Haven. It's 1884 Veterans Drive.
Oh, cool.
It's on the western side of South Haven,
That's pretty neat.
near 51.
I like craft
Right
fairs.
off the 51. Yeah, it's exciting. So go and check that out this Saturday. All right. So what we're going to talk about, we are going to talk about the market. We try to always hit on that. We're going to talk about
Yeah, imagine that.
real estate myths. Don't fall for these real estate myths. We're going to talk about several events that we have going on here, and just an update with the inventory.
Oh, and you won't see this guy anymore.
This guy will be going. We did have a winner. We're going to tell you all about that.
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
There's, we have a slot for that.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. I don't.
Don't mess me up. I have. I'm not going to know where to talk to after that.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So what we're going to do first is talk about just frequently asked questions. The first question we have is, how important is location, and what areas should I consider? I think this is truly based on the individual. That's why you need to get with us, get with your agent, speak to us. We'll figure out a good game plan. We'll factor in your job, your extracurricular activities. I mean, there's a lot that
And
can
you're
go
gonna
into
rule
it.
out all those dangerous areas of town, right?
Unless you want it, if you want a dangerous area.
But we can't really, we can't really steer you
No,
in that
no.
direction. If somebody asked you about a neighborhood, how much you respond to that? You're
Oh,
out
yes.
in the field.
So we can't tell you yes or no, or, this is a good place or not. And it's really because it's your opinion. So what I highly advise is go there, at various times. Go there in the
Right.
afternoon on a weekday to see how it is. Go there, on a Friday night and just drive by to see how, Friday nights and Saturday nights are. And the weekends, if you got kids playing outside, then that obviously can give you a good tale of how the neighborhood is. And
Or if it's really quiet and all the lights are off and,
Yeah.
they're asleep.
That's right. And I mean, it won't necessarily tell you, if it's safe or not. It could just be an older neighborhood, and a lot of older people, they just like to go inside and that's it. And then if there's a younger neighborhood, but if that's what you're looking for, you have kids.
Right.
We all want to have our kids play with the neighbor kids, so that's a factor. So another thing, I mean, so it is based on the individual and what they
Well,
need.
and I remember when I was working in the Tennessee area, people would ask about school districts.
Yes.
And that was a huge one for us because where I lived was in that unique 38002 zip code,
Mhm.
which encompassed Lakeland, Bartlett, and Arlington.
Right.
And so it was really hard to tell which school it was in because they would change those maps and who
Yes.
went to Bon Lin and who went to Bartlett and who went different places. So that was what I would tell them in Memphis is, hey, call the schools. There's websites we can direct you to kind of find out if that school's in there. But with that area, it was always you got to keep looking because they would change those up at the last minute.
Right, right. So schools is another thing. Work is a big one. Some people want to be a certain distance. When I was in the Air Force, I wanted to be within range to get to work decently, but I didn't want to be so close that I was hitting airplanes all the
I
time.
want to not hit
So-
any roads. I don't want to hit any major roads. I want to do all back roads from here to
Yeah,
my
so,
house.
and that would be something that would be considered. So it is the individual's needs and wants that we
Sure.
factor in there. What are the current market trends in real estate? Well, we've seen the rates go down.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that are holding off. They're waiting for reasons, which I'd love for you to, get with us. We'll figure out those reasons. Because a lot of times it's the unknown. You don't know that you can get, now's the time to buy versus
Always.
what are we, we're waiting
We
for.
know what it is today. We do not know what it's going to be tomorrow.
Yes.
And if they go down,
Yeah.
everybody's going to start hitting that go button. And then what happens when all the buyers come out of the woodwork?
Well, I mean, you're going to have more competition, and you're going to have to start overbidding, and then there's that. So what we're seeing is in Tennessee, we're at 94 days. Mississippi is 90 days as far as how fast we're getting homes on average to overturn. And the rates went down. So get with us, and find you a home.
Well, and I was talking to somebody as well that recently that was talking about they wanted to wait until after the first of the year, and that 90 days. We're right in that October, November, December. If you want to move in January,
you need
you
to
need to
start
start
now.
now.
Yeah, it's not something I'm gonna go buy a new car and then you can come back with a new car. I mean,
Right.
It takes time.
Well, and if you need to sell the house you're in order to buy,
Mm-hmm.
because we still have low inventory on the market right now, even though it's sitting there a little bit longer, it's taking a little bit longer for those houses to sell across the board. I mean, that's my understanding. It's not a particular price point. It is across the board. And so if you have to sell in order to buy and you want to buy after the first of the year, you got to start looking right now.
Oh, yeah.
Put it out there. And there's ways that sellers can have contingencies on their on the sale as much as a buyer. Typically, you think about a buyer asking for, hey, I need to sell this, make sure that my house sells before I can close the contract, close the deal with the house I'm buying. Sellers can do that too. We've had those as well. Or there's other aspects that can go in where you go, okay, there's just all kinds of ways to work a deal.
Yeah, that, and I know a lot of people don't want to move forward during the holidays. That is a big deterrent.
You know
That's
that.
when I closed on a house, when I was stationed in Delaware, just a few days before Christmas. And looking back, it definitely was worth it because we had less competition. We could find the house that we wanted, and
Right.
then we didn't have to rush and compete with others. And that's huge. You can use that to your advantage.
Well,
As
and
soon as the first comes, you have everyone else that's, oh, I'm waiting till the next year. I'm waiting till all the holidays. Everyone else is waiting for the holidays. So you get out now, you have that advantage.
well, and when you were talking about that, and I remember when you bought, and so I always thought, okay, well, you've got this kind of built-in time off during the
Yes.
holidays to be
Yeah.
able to slowly move in over the course of a week after
That's
you've already
huge.
closed
Yeah, I
on the
didn't think
deal.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you don't have to take additional time off and you're not pulling your hair
Yeah.
out.
Oh, I already did that.
Sorry.
I'm used to that. So our next question is, how do I determine the fair market value of a property? The easiest and quickest answer to that is get a hold of us, and we can tell you because we compare various things. We know the market. We're in the market every day. We're not just like doing this on the weekend. We're here. Sunday through the next Sunday, 7 days a week. We see it, we Facebook it, we live it. This is our life.
Well, and Robert, I think this is the beauty of being on the Home Gurus team because no one agent is on their own in trying to do that. We've got newer agents, we've got younger agents, we've got older agents, we have more seasoned agents that have come in, and I know that they talk. We had about 17 agents on our team, so maybe plus, and they're able to talk to one another and get that kind of feedback that an agent that's by themselves, they do a really good job, but we're able to like step it up a notch and provide even more simply because we're able to collaborate within our team.
Right. A lot of people, will give me their Zillow numbers, and they can get you kind of close, but those are it's just a computer system AI, just getting a broad area. We know the area. There could be one neighborhood that is going up faster than the other areas. Even here in South Haven, all of Memphis area, whatever it is, there's some neighborhoods that go improve faster and higher than other places.
Well, and you've got somebody with eyes on your property. They can see what you've done on the inside. They can see those improvements, the personalization you've made to your own house that might benefit you or might be something that you go, hey, you put all the bedrooms upstairs. But let's read
all those upgrades that
all those upgrades
the tax assessor doesn't know about, so it's not
exactly
the information's not out there to be assessed correctly.
Well, yeah, and even I know in Mississippi, because we're being a non-disclosure state, the tax assessor site, even if you looked at that, those are not accurate.
They can be, but they can't be also.
They're not always.
Yeah, they're here. All right, so should I hire a real estate agent, and how do I choose one? Yes, you should choose an agent. This is our job. This is what we do day in and day out. We know the market. We know the forms. This is a big, huge purchase and everything. And then, so how do I choose one? The good thing about being part of the team is we have various personalities. If you want to deal with someone who's been in the game, or in the real estate, been an agent for years and years and years, longer than I've been alive, or one that's been newer and hungry, and an agent for a year or two, male, female, whatever you prefer. And there's personalities. I'm young, good looking, and funny. and a veteran, and then we have,
And I mean,
and me. That's where I was going. I'm glad you followed all that.
followed right in there.
Just different
And the old,
personalities.
and I like TikTok.
Oh, looks like you talking.
I do, and I keep seeing these reels or whatever you call it that are on there. These posts that were on there that say you don't need a real estate agent. It's interesting though, because they'll go, I'm a real estate agent and I'm telling you, you don't need a real estate agent. And then they proceed to tell you every reason why you actually do need a real estate agent. Because can you do this all by yourself? Yes. Is it,
You might be losing some money.
You might lose some money. You might leave money on the table that we can kind of see ahead of that. And negotiations. Oh my goodness, this is what I did. I have done this for 5 years with the home gurus, and um, and we've worked with for sale by owners, somebody that says I can do this all on my own, and that they are involved and emotional about their own homes, and they don't want to. There's a good deal they don't want to do. When you have an agent that steps in the middle, that is for you, that is looking out for your best interest, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and they're able to negotiate for you in a non-emotional way, we can get a lot further, and we can see other ways in which we can get your best deal,
Right.
so that everybody walks away. That's Keller Williams. Everybody walks away from the contract feeling like they got the best deal possible, the seller and the buyer. That was always my end goal, was how does everybody feel like they're a winner? There's no losers in real estate.
Right, and I've seen some of those videos where they just say, just get with the seller's agent. You have to keep in mind that that seller's agent is working on behalf of the seller in their best interest. So you're going to, I mean, the enemy really, and saying, I want to buy this, and they're not working on your behalf at all.
No, and you always say anything you say can be held against you in a court of law. Well, anything you say can be held against you when you're working, if you're a buyer working with a seller's agent, because they are going to hear your story and know where to kind of get the best deal for their seller.
Yep, for their clients.
Right.
So I think we discussed that fairly well. So give us a call, right? How can I conduct a thorough property inspection? I think the most important one is, hire a reputable home inspector.
Yes.
Hopefully someone that's just not doing it on the weekends and has only done 2 inspections. One that's been in the licensed home inspector for years and has the knowledge and experience. And when we have several vendors that we work with.
Yeah, we have several home inspectors that do both new construction and currently pre-owned homes.
Yep.
But that's my saying always was that it's the best tool belt in the purchasing power of the buyer. And there's more to this saying, the jack of all trades, but master of none.
Yeah, there's more, but that's the only part I know too. So.
and it goes on to tell what benefits you have for somebody that has a broad spectrum look into the house. They can see through the walls. The ones that we've worked with have little infrared and can detect moisture. But even at that, and this is where your realtor comes in, just because that home inspector saw something, there might be a need to reach out to another contractor, because he's not a plumber, he's not a roofer, or she is not a plumber, not a roofer, not an electrician. However, like I said at the beginning, I have contractors that we work with on a regular basis that are in all of these trades. So say you're in your home inspection, you found polybutylene pipes. Do you know what polybutylene pipes are?
My buddy Google knows, but I do not know.
I don't know technically what polybutylene pipes mean, but I do know that it is very beneficial. If you see that there may be nothing wrong with the plumbing, but the home inspector might say, hey, but there are these pipes in the house and they are known to fail. So my first step would be, okay, let's get a plumber out there while we're still in our inspection period to kind of do a better, more in-depth look, get you a little bit better idea of what may be a factor down the line. Then you've got that report from the recommendations from that particular plumber, and then I am going to every time encourage you to consider getting a home warranty, because I have talked to one of our home warranty people, and we had a buyer that had polybutylene pipes and they failed, and that's something that could be covered by your home warranty that will not be covered by your homeowner's insurance. And so that's a way to get in the middle of that, get a jump start in that process. You wouldn't know that if you were just going, you hired your own, you weren't working with an agent. And I know I'm beating that to death, but that's kind of what we do.
On a side note, for most of my clients, we've been able to negotiate the seller's paying for the home warranty. So
Right.
keep that in mind too. All right. So what are associated closing costs, or what associated closing costs should I expect? So closing costs are going to comprise of essentially all your fees. Everyone who's touching the file in your contract, they want to get paid. And you have your taxes, the county, the city, they want to get paid.
Right.
Your lender wants to get paid for giving you the loan. Your title company wants to get paid for doing the title search and all the formalities there. You have commission is in there. I already mentioned taxes. I'm trying to think.
Well, it's all going to depend on whether you're a buyer or seller too.
That's true.
That plays a factor in it as well. And it's not just that and they do want to get paid. Just like when you go to work every day, you wouldn't do that for nothing. You get what you pay for.
And we can't put a dollar amount on it. That's why usually in the contract you find out what it specifically is near the end, because a lot of stuff has to be calculated and figured out. But it can be guesstimated on what it's going to be close to.
Right, and it's their attorney's fees, their recording fees. Those are usually in there. If you're a buyer, it's your down payment, as well as if you're paying down any points to get that 5% even lower if you're able to do that.
Homeowners insurance.
Homeowners insurance comes into it, and those are usually paid up front at the beginning. So
right.
you because you don't have any escrow.
Hmm?
Yeah, you don't have any escrow yet in there, so they're putting that together for you as well. But you do know before you go to the closing table, whether you're a buyer or a seller, what those right.
And I mean that's about it on that. What financing options are available to me? Now that question sounds very specific. So definitely reach out to us and we can talk about it. But you have what I'm more familiar with, VA loans,
right.
No money down. And then there's USDA loans, FHA loans, conventional. And then within those, there's so many different programs. We have different lenders that do those loans, but there's so much more added to that with, they'll pay for closing costs. I mean, it's just so
there's
much.
2 grants that I've heard of recently out there. One was for 8,000 and one was for 10.
Right.
Seems like there was another one, and those grants are pretty cool because depending on who your lender is and which programs they're able to jump into, grant means, remember, that's not a loan. That means if you're in the home for longer than 5 years, that money you don't have to pay back.
Right. Right. You just have to stay there for long enough. And most of them are 5. There are some that can vary. Yeah. And also new homes also have their incentives, and then not only grants and all that, but percentage benefits for each one. New home builders, some of them are doing in the 4s. Our average, I think what we're seeing now is higher 5s on for average, but just all depends. You need to just get with us so we can sit down, get a game plan for your situation specifically.
Right.
We good? We talked about financing. Also, we are agents and everything, and we are there for your behalf, but the lender, um, whoever you choose, that's going to be the one that's going to be able to tell you more information on the loan itself. They're licensed on that side.
And we have lenders that we've worked with that our clients have worked with on a regular basis. I know that, and I've had um, two different types of loans we've worked with as far as that's concerned, whether it was a big bank that's national, like the Rocket Mortgage or something along those lines. And even like, I can't remember who the other lender was, but then you have the local lender. There's somebody that knows the area, that lives and works and plays in the Mid-South for where we are right now. I've had a, sorry, I
Was the
had
other nationwide when you gonna say Quicken or Veterans United?
Quicken or Veterans United.
USA,
Well, and sometimes, and I did have a buyer that I was working with that he got a fabulous loan, really low percentage, working with the big box, working with a national lender. But there were benefits and there were pros and cons with that as well. And some of the cons were not worth the benefit. However, and I think that particular one, this was in the height of 2021, and his that big box, it was at 1.99 percentage rate.
Wow.
So
Yes,
the
please.
pros outweighed the cons with that one, but it took us a little bit longer to close. Sometimes our local lenders, we've got a couple that we've talked to recently that can close you within 2 weeks.
Right, yeah. So what it sounds like in generalization is that it's case by case basis,
Yes,
and reach out to us.
that's the key you walk away with today. Reach out to us, call us.
What contingency should I include in my offer? Now,
Depends on the house.
hate to keep saying the same thing over, but this really truly is a case by case. I mean, it depends on your situation. Do you need to sell your house, and that will be contingent on that. I do have one coming up that we've talked about a little bit, that will be contingent on if they can divide up the property. So it'll be contingent on that. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. So yeah, reach out and get with us, and we can sit down and figure out what contingencies we're going to do in our offer. That's part of the game plan, the strategy,
Right.
in that. I mean, it can be something simple as contingent on them mowing the grass before you move in. I mean, it can be small things and big things. So reach out. What are the property taxes in the area, and how might they change?
Yeah, I have no idea.
The specific amount, no idea, but I mean, it does depend on, and we get the lenders let us know with a good guesstimate, but you need to know the address. So are we in town? Are we outside the town city limits? Are we in Mississippi? Are we in Tennessee? DeSoto County, Tate County, Marshall from Mississippi, Shelby County, and just depends on what house. It could be within the county, but in a just lost my word, the old historic district. That can change things. It's just very house specific.
Well, and sometimes it does take a little bit longer to figure out exactly what those are, and that's what your closing attorney is going to do for you as well. Once they got that title search in, and we've had folks go, okay, before anything goes any further, I need to know. And several of our closing attorneys that we have worked with will do that title search very early on so that they can get out in front of anything like this. And we call them up and we go, hey, can you go ahead and give Mr. Buyer the a kind of a preliminary closing cost so that a buyer could see. There'll be factors that they don't know yet, but can kind of give you an idea what those taxes are going to be like.
And another thing is, and just thought of that, is that depends on if you're going to do a homestead, and that can change. If you're
It's Mississippi,
yep,
right.
yep, and then or a veteran, that could change your taxes that are owed too. So or elderly
or disability can play a factor.
There are several factors that will play into this. So again, the theme I think today is case by case basis.
and call your realtor. Call one of
Call
us.
us. Yeah. Are there any homeowners association fees or rules, HOAs, case
Yes.
by case basis? So it depends on where your home is located. Not all homes have HOAs, and some of the HOAs aren't what you see on the TV, and some are the truly strict HOAs. It just depends on which HOA you have.
Well,
Some
we
are
can
just
tell you if
because
there's
it
going to be a
has,
Karen in the
yeah,
neighborhood.
some are just because there's a common area. You're just paying to get the grass cut that's in a specific area, or maybe the sign up front, and that's it. It could be as easy as that, and you're not regulated on what you can park there. And the other spectrum to that is you have to have lawn mowed, no certain vehicles. I mean, it just depends on what house you.
Okay, so this is funny though, because just because they don't have an HOA doesn't mean there's not covenants or restrictions for
Yes.
your particular neighborhood.
Mhm.
So I actually live in a neighborhood that a little bit older. We do not have HOA. But so when I first moved in, I went to the planning commission and I said, okay, what are the covenants that are in this neighborhood? Because I've introduced myself to my neighbors and they started asking me that. So in my neighborhood, you're not allowed to have goats or pigs. Now I'm on 3 acres, and most of the properties in my little subdivision are 3+ acres.
Mhm.
And so nobody's supposed to have goats or pigs. And all I can think is somebody must have, when they built the neighborhood back in the early 80s, there must have been a pig farm or something
Yeah.
around there. I don't know what, because that just seems so particular. Now you can have horses, you can have cows, you can, as long as they're not like a commercial, like you're breeding and selling them for profit, I guess. But my next door neighbor has goats. And so they started complaining to me because I'm officially made myself the Karen of the neighborhood. Not really, but I do. I'm not. So, but I did start a little 4th of July parade that we did.
Yeah.
And so I got to be the go-to person in my neighborhood. But so they started going, hey, so-and-so's got goats. And I went, well, they've been there for a year now. And that kind of runs out that kind of, from my understanding, that it would be without an HOA, it would be the individual. This is what the guy planning commission told me. It would be up to the individual homeowners to kind of bring anything there.
Yeah.
But after so long, like we've been living with the goats for a while. They're really kind of cool. They don't get loose or anything.
Whatever is a animal safe spray paint or whatever, like for hair dye, just puts not a goat on its fur or whatever. Just right,
Not a
Not a
goat.
goat. And it's not a goat.
I'll have to tell him that. That'd be pretty funny. Have a little no goat.
Yep, not a goat.
They're just the greatest of all time.
And they're good for keeping the grass low, and we'll plan on eating it, but we won't get there. Not for this. Not for
We
this
are
function.
Mississippi.
Yeah. So next question is, what steps should I take after my offer is accepted? This is really your
My area.
So I was going to say take a deep breath first.
Absolutely. That is take a deep breath. I would talk to our clients that once they're under contract, buyers, you said after your offer is accepted, do take a deep breath. It's going to be a bumpy ride. We are here, Home Gurus for sure, and Lolita will help you throughout that process to take as much of that stress off of you as we possibly can. But buying a home is somewhat stressful. The first thing you need to do is be watching your emails.
Yes.
Because your lender is going to be reaching out to you and they want everything. They want tax returns. They want bank statements. They want
really fast at first, too.
Oh, it's very crazy. Fast at first. They want and employment records and did I say tax records? I
don't
may
think
have,
so.
but there's a bunch of paperwork they're going to start asking you for, and they're going to ask you for that at the very beginning. And I think this is important for the buyers to know. Once you get all of that submitted and you're going down the process, you're going to have somebody that comes back and asks you for either the same information again or new information. And you'll think, and I've heard it many times, why didn't they ask me for this at the beginning? Well, because what underwriters do is they put all of your information in the system and it triggers something else. If you are a business owner, then they want to see a little bit more here. If something else gets flagged, they're going to be asking you for more. So be patient and breathe. So that, and they will typically reach out to you via email. The closing attorneys will typically reach out to you through your emails to begin. So that's one of the things that you have during this time. I've got in my personal email, I have over 400, maybe close to 500 unanswered emails. So I direct the ones that are important somewhere else that I know for sure I'm going to see that.
Yeah.
And go highlight this so that I can respond quickly, because time is of the essence.
Yes.
It's in your contract. Time is of the essence. Then the next stage that we do, usually you have 10 or so days to get a home inspection done. That's got to be done if you want to ask for any repairs. And depending on where you are and what's in your contract, you may also need to know a termite inspector, because you want to have that checked, because that's an important part of the step as well. Depending on what kind of loan, it may or may not matter. FHA loan, you're going to have to, and a VA loan, you're going to have a termite inspection. And so you rush through all of that, and then you wait. And then the lender starts calling you again. But those are the initial steps. Needing more stuff. And it's going to happen. Promise it's going to happen. Oh, first thing, turn in your earnest money.
I was waiting. I was going to throw that in there, but I was waiting.
Yes.
In between the breathing and the emails.
Earnest money.
Is earnest money.
Earnest money. So
breathe, earnest money, and then check emails.
Right. And the earnest money is kind of says you have skin in the game.
Right.
That you're going to move forward with this contract as long as all the contingencies are met, all of those requirements that you have made in the contract are met. Then if something doesn't happen, those contingencies are not met, your agent has put those fail safes in there for you to get that earnest money back. If not, then as you move forward with the contract, seller doesn't get to keep that money unless you breach the contract. But when you get to the end and you're at the closing table, say you bought a house for $120,000, that was your agreed upon purchase price, $120,000. Instead of your loan being for 120, it's going to be 100 for 19 if you did $1,000 in earnest money. So it's going to take off the top of your right. Yep. It's going to go towards that.
You mentioned there are ways to, to get it back depending on how your contract is written. There's ways to lose it.
It's important. Yeah, there's ways to lose it.
So just, get with your agent, call us, and, we can explain it a little bit more thoroughly and better for you. But we do need to move on to the next question, which is what we get a lot is now a good time to buy. And yes, it is. So we just had the rates go down. Right. And what you see on the TV when you hear the Fed and everything going down, that's not what we follow as far as not real estate.
Financing.
That's right. Not the word I'm looking for. But the rates having to do with housing. It is separate. Housing rates usually follow the 10-year Treasury closer than what you see the Feds. That'll be more for your banking and your CDs and high yield savings plan and all that. Right. That's what is what you're hearing go up or down. But with the rates where we've gone down, we mentioned earlier to the mid fives is what we're seeing. unless you buy a new construction. Some of them are doing 4, so it just depends
Right.
on what you're looking for. But we have very good rates, compared to what we had last year. And I mentioned the 90 days that we're kind of sitting. So we have houses out there, but no one's jumping the gun on anything because a lot of people are waiting. So you take the initiative, get with us. Let's go find you a home before all that competition comes
Right.
that are waiting for the seasons now that
Oh
we're
my goodness.
here. Dan.
And when the market, I mean, when things were flying, and the day you listed them, you had several offers on your home.
Yeah.
If we got back to that at all, that was scary. I mean, it was fun because things were moving really, really fast.
Mhm.
But we also had where you were having to offer over appraised price, over
So spending
listing
more money
price.
for waiting.
Right. And so that was, and oof, I had somebody that actually, in order to win the deal, they they offered 25,000 over appraised value,
And
and
depending on your
it
situation, that's coming out of your pocket, because if it
it
doesn't appraise for that,
it
I'm not
appraised
getting a loan.
it
Yeah.
appraised for what they agreed upon, and they brought $25,000 extra on top of the closing cost of the table. Now they felt like it was a good deal. They did. This particular couple, they absolutely did feel like that was a good deal, and they were coming obviously from outside of the South. They were coming where
Coming from California or something.
yeah, where the prices were a little bit higher for the homes.
Well,
And
most of us locals
yeah,
don't have that.
right,
So beat out that bidding war by
right.
going forward now. On the flip side, selling, I think it's still a good time to sell. There is not that much inventory, and that is something, there's buyers out there, but they're just not finding what they want. So let's put your house on the market and we'll get it sold.
And there's ways to offer incentives for your home to put your house's best foot forward
Mhm.
that are not necessarily in lowering the purchase price, your list price. There's things like, just like the builders are doing, you can offer some concessions.
Yep.
As a seller. You can offer money to buy down points. You can offer money towards closing costs that make because if you've got 3 or 4 houses in your immediate neighborhood that are for sale, what's going to make you stand out? And sometimes it's not the list price that helps you to stand out. It's what you can offer on the back end.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of buyers aren't, they search within, that limit, and we'll just say, 250. So if you have 2 houses that are 250 and one is, helping with closing costs and they're advertising that, that's going to help lure them and attract, those buyers, because closing costs is a big thing, a
Right.
big hurdle for a lot of our buyers.
It is, yes, it is.
So,
Especially these new time home buyers.
yes.
Mhm.
All right, so our next question, is, don't fall for these real estate myths. So the myth number 1 that we have is all real estate agents are the same.
Nope.
I mean, we're both real estate agents, so we're both the same, correct?
Yeah, we look just alike.
Twinsies. When we talked about this earlier, we have different personalities. We're on a team, so we're able to utilize that. Not every agent out there is on our team. We have the ability to use several agents, for my clients. You sign me on as your agent, and you're getting the whole team. If you
Right.
sign on your cousin Vinny, who's also an agent, that's all you might be getting. And I'm not a big fan of mixing friends and family and a big, huge purchase like a home.
Oh, yeah, because everybody's too close and too involved. It can
Yep.
ruin friendships, and just because you're dealing with a big investment.
The biggest, and for most people, the biggest that they're going to be purchasing.
Well, it's legacy too. It's what you'll pass down, depending on how long you stay there, and even at that, you're looking towards the future. It's still something that goes that direction.
That's right. And personality is a big thing too. I'm big on veterans. I'm retired Air Force myself. I've had several Army. Kind of have the banter with each other. So we just connect, and so there
The
is
chemistry, and because we've got so many on our team, that we can go, okay, it's not working with Robert, so I need somebody that's going to be able to mesh a little bit better, and we're able to do that.
Yeah. Myth number 2 is you can save money by not using an agent, and we actually already went over that. In most cases, you're going to lose out on money, whether um, you're not seasoned in negotiations. You mentioned the for sale by owners earlier. They, on average, they'll lose out on money trying to not utilize an agent and save money there. They lose money because they did not sell their home for what they could have,
Well,
its
they can lose,
potential, and
and
then negotiations and fixes. That's a negotiation itself.
well, you can lose time too, because if you're doing it all by yourself and you're a seller and you're trying to get out there, and one,
Time is
you're going to
money.
lose time from work because you're
Yeah.
going to have to find a time when you can show your house. You're going to have to vet your own buyers at that point. Do you know that they can get to the closing table? We've even experienced where a buyer had unique financial situations that needed to be overcome, where one lender was not able to get them to the closing table, and we were able to quickly move them to a new lender who was able to, and it didn't eat up a whole lot of
Yeah.
time. You trying to do it yourself, you get all the way to the very end and your buyer can't close, you've wasted a lot of time.
and money.
Right.
Every transaction, there's a hurdle or two in some way,
Mhm.
shape, or form, and we've seen most of them. I'm sure there's an experience we haven't done. No one has had all the experiences yet, but we have seen most, and or if we
Seen
know
a lot,
somebody
right?
that has, we can get you, past the hurdle.
And because this is more to, and for me, I don't know about Robert, but this is more than just a job. This is an opportunity to help people. This is an opportunity to help you improve your your legacy. This is an opportunity to help you get to your best life.
Yeah.
And so it's not just a job. This is, to me, there's a part of this that's a true calling.
Yeah.
And so when you have folks like us that feel that way, and that's the way we approach the way we do business, you get somebody that's really in it for you, that's really your advocate, and we get excited when you get the deal you wanted. We get excited when you close on the house you're selling or the house you're buying, because we know what that means for your future.
Yeah. Myth number 3 is agents will push you to spend more. Um, No, I mean, there's probably
There's
a
some
bad
that
agent out there, but that's not how we operate.
no.
We're there on your behalf, there to assist you. We're working with you, trying to help you find your home. You give us, your limitations. I need, to stay in this budget, and we stay there. We're not trying to push anything. You get to ultimately sit, have the last say if you want a certain house or not. Never really pushing. You'll never find us as agents say that you need to buy this house or else. That's just it's not a good practice. And almost with what you were saying, we're here to help you. I want you to be so happy with the way we operate that you'll have your kids when they need to buy a house, and when you are ready to upgrade or downgrade, you'll come back.
That should be, yeah, that should be the taste that you're left with
Yeah.
from the Home Gurus, is that we were for you.
Yeah.
That we're willing to go above and beyond um, as much as we can within legal limits.
Within the legal limits.
Right.
All right. Another myth. Sorry, um, I can't read today. It's Thursday. My brain shuts off on Thursdays. The next myth is market conditions are the same everywhere, so why do I need a pro? I mean, you can almost read that and understand that that's not true. The markets in California, I'll just go big, are way different than Mississippi or Florida, all that. But even within the same region, I'll focus on Mississippi because that's where I am licensed in Tennessee also, but Mississippi, even within the county, DeSoto County, you have Tate,
Right.
Marshall, all that. Hernando and South Haven and Olive Branch are all different markets, even though they're all within the same county.
I've heard this out of investors, and they will come in and purchase blocks and not really know the neighborhoods. We're going to be feet on the ground. We're going to see what for an investor, for somebody that's moving in from out of town and go, okay, let's drive around. And I'm thinking that they walked you through with a few Facebook Lives or FaceTime. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
To kind of see what the neighborhood was like. Because if you can't be here, and I've closed many contracts where the buyers have only seen the house one or two times in person before they closed. And so that's one of the things that we're able to do that you can't get on Zillow, that you can't get on some of the other social media sites, to really see what the neighborhoods are like and get that kind of. I mean, we've got agents that live in Memphis and Collierville. We've got agents that live in Hernando and Olive Branch and South Haven. So we're invested in our interest of our neighborhood. So
our communities.
There you go. That's what I meant.
We're going to jump into open houses.
Like through the door or jump?
But I do want to recap what we were just talking about. That's why, reach out to us. We're here to help you.
Oh, okay.
So open houses this weekend. We
Yeah.
have one at 4256 Winding Hollow Way in Tennessee. That'll be this Saturday from 2 to 4. And ARCA is doing that one. We have 4450 Guinevere Lane in Bartlett. That'll be on Saturday also, right?
2 to 4.
And from 2 to 4. And Kathy is doing that one. And I think we have another one, but I don't have the address. So you can go to our website.
Go to our Facebook page. Or even our website.
It'll be there.
yourhomegurus.com or what is it on Facebook? The Home Gurus on Facebook.
And it'll be listed there. I believe Melissa is doing one.
I believe so.
So get the address off our Facebook.
And we like Saturday open houses.
Yeah, Saturdays are fun.
Yeah.
That way you can still go to church on Sunday.
Or sleep in.
All right, so let's talk about this animated Reaper. So first off, thank you for all that called in. It was fun. It was hectic. I was getting someone's information. I can hear, my phone was beeping because there's more callers. It was crazy, but fun.
It was.
So thank you all that called in. We're excited to do these giveaways. Always look out for our next one. We typically, have one. I'm not sure what the next one is, so just keep an ear out. I'm pretty sure we're doing the pies. But I didn't know if I wanted to say that because you get too excited too early. So that's really my favorite time because it smells so good in here when we do the pies. But let's talk about this Reaper first. It is the 10-foot tall Reaper.
He's a Grim Reaper, not Reaper, because that's when I was talking to people about it, like my Southern accent, I went, no, we're not giving, no, it's a Reaper. He's a skull. He's skeleton guy.
He's got the skulls that come out. Again, thanks to all that called. We did announce the winner yesterday, and it was Nikki Bowdry. So congratulations.
Yay, Nikki!
And I think that's it. Thanks for eating lunch with us for this quick 20-minute lunch and learn. Again, my name is Robert Schoonover with the Home Gurus.
And Shannon Pryor.
Please reach out to us, and we're just glad to be here.
Glad to be here.